What is going on, Vikings fans? It is Skol back again with another Minnesota Vikings video. And you know who showed up, who didn't for the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. That's what we're going to get into today. Anyway, so sorry about no stream during the game last night. We really got caught up. Me and my friends, we were going out. We went out and got some drinks for the game. We just got caught up in the moment. We got caught at the bar. Anyways, there is 100% a live stream tonight. I'll make sure of it. I'm having 2 people on. We're going to do a full game review. Anyways, who showed up, who didn't? As you can see by the jersey, number 18, he might be on the who showed up list. But if you guys don't know, I get 5 players who showed up and then 3 who didn't. Victory Tuesday, Vikings about to run the table. But we're going to start off this week with who showed up, who didn't. For the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. Let's get right into it. So anyways, the first guy I gotta give him a shout out to is Justin Jefferson. He's the jersey I am wearing. 8 catches, 134 yards, a 57-yard slant route. And I think last night showed everybody he has this superstar potential. He's not leading the league in receiving yards. He's not leading the league in any of these stats, but he has been quietly getting better each and every week, and he's been sitting on these big games. He is just a big game waiting to happen, and frankly, he was great yesterday. He ran the entire route tree, gave Cousins an option, gave Cousins a chance to go make a play, and God, Jefferson, the way he runs routes, he looks bigger than 6'1". He's physical for only being a slim guy. He's got this swagger. He didn't get the gritty going. I was a little upset about no touchdown. But anyways, Justin Jefferson absolutely balled out yesterday. Coming in my second spot is the receiver next to him, Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen, 4 catches, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was great out of him. He was really seen effective in the red zone. I think because Jefferson was carrying the bulk of the duty in between the 20s for the Vikings passing offense. To see Thielen get going in the red zone, that's what he's been doing all year. He's got now 9 receiving touchdowns on the year, tied for first in the NFL. Something he's been doing all year. This was just a classic Adam Thielen big primetime game. He had 1 touchdown in Chicago going into this game. Picked up 2 more last night. Overcame that demon. That was great to see out of Thielen. Now I'm literally just going to throw out a massive shout out to the defense. I could go and just give every little player a huge shout out, but from everybody from the defensive line to the linebacking core, again, Eric Wilson, shout out to you. Eric Kendricks, God, he gave me a heart attack when he went down. Jeff Gladney playing aggressive. Harrison Smith being opportunistic. Anthony Harris really shutting down that safety position. Just the defense did exactly what they needed to do. They shut down everything. The Bears couldn't move the ball in the second half. The Bears' special teams, again, had another game where they scored more points than the Bears. I mean, this was just, the Vikings took advantage of this. They said, they had a really weak offensive line, even though they got Cody Whitehair back. We're not going to let Allen Robinson beat us. Zimmer did a great job of disguising that coverage. That was great. Just Zimmer and the defense, a huge shout out to them. I'll get into individual players later on in the week in film breakdown and how they did good, but just a huge shout out to the whole Vikings defense. They all showed up. My fourth guy, even though he was kind of ineffective compared to the last 2 weeks, is Dalvin Cook. I loved that yesterday with Gary Kubiak. They saw Dalvin wasn't going at all the entire game, but they stayed with it. And that caused Cousins to have these open throws and to be able to go win the game. And it's not like he had 30 carries for 60 yards. He still was able to put up 100 all-purpose yards, which is great. Obviously, he was slow, but to see that physical beating of 30 rushes for 100 yards in Chicago, it really helped me I'm like, this guy's not a one-trick pony. He's not just a big, burst down back. He can go get the scrappy yards, and that's what he did yesterday. He picked up the 3 yards when they gave it to him. He didn't try to make everything a home run, and then he still ripped off a couple runs. We were like, okay, there we go. Had a couple bad plays called back by holding that didn't really affect the play, so that obviously sucks for him. Anyways, Dalvin Cook, keep doing what you're doing. I love the way he's running right now. Guys, my number 1 player, Kirk Cousins. I'm going to have a whole video on him probably out within the next hour. But wow, did we see the passion. We saw the tenacity. We saw that competitiveness from Kirk that we kind of saw against Detroit and Green Bay. he was kind of inching towards it. He wanted to let out that big scream. And anyways, we saw it when he picked up that huge second down, moved the sticks, kept the clock running. He let it out. He heard everything. He heard the 0-9 on Monday night. He's heard this season's all your fault. He's heard all that. Does this change my opinion on him? I have no idea. I mean, this is just such a love-hate relationship with him. But right now, man, Kirk, hell of a game. In Chicago, 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick that wasn't even your fault. And on 2 drives, he had his players either fumble or give up an interception, and he kept battling. You know how hard that is to overcome 2 turnovers, not by you on your offense. Come over a special teams touchdown, terrible special teams the entire night, and Kirk overcame it. I'm gonna have a whole rant after this, but Kirk Cousins, #1 player, showed up. All right, and who didn't show up? This is the part of the video I don't really like doing, especially after a Victory Tuesday, because it's all positive, but we got to stay objective. There were things the Vikings did not do well on Monday night against the Bears. First thing I'm going to be talking about, obviously, is the special teams. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's mental or there's some fundamental changes that need to happen, but you know what? This is almost good for Zimmer because he can really harp on this week when we do have the Cowboys coming into a team we should beat. Anyways, we just need to tighten that up a lot because we could lose a game. We could lose to one of these fluky teams that we're playing soon just because our special teams is bad. We saw the Packers give up a punt return to the Jags, and it kind of turned the tides of the game. They throw in a couple turnovers. Anything can happen in the NFL. Anyways, special teams didn't really show up. Honestly, one of the worst special teams games I've seen out of Minnesota Vikings team in a while. Anyways, we'll be fine though. Special teams, tighten it up a little bit. Who didn't show up is another one. The Vikings just run blocking and running scheme. I felt like I was way more. Listen, they had their holes sometimes. They weren't terrible. It's just a standard I'm holding them to. They didn't play. I wanted them to almost come in there and impose their will and have us be able to establish a run. That didn't happen, but they were great during pass blocking, the O-line. The O-line, I'll tell you what, props to you during pass blocking. Run blocking, obviously the Bears are stacking the box. Very tough task, but I would just like to see him clean up a few things in the run blocking. Saw a couple miscommunications, missed blocks that Dalvin could have hit a big hole. Anyways, it's the Bears, though. Not going to harp on them too much. Just clean that up a little bit. All right, and for the last who didn't, I'm actually going to give this to another who showed up. So another who showed up, Mike Zimmer. You know, what he's had to overcome on this defense this year and the pitch that game he did, dropping Harrison Smith in the coverage when he was on the line of scrimmage. Harrison Smith's all over the field right now. That was just a masterpiece. That was a Zimmer masterpiece. That was great. Zimmer, huge shout out to you. I'm making a whole video coming out in about an hour after this of Kirk Cousins, so if you guys do want to check that out, please do. It's going to come out soon. Anyways, guys, Vikings won. Victory Tuesday. Live stream tonight. Video coming out in an hour. Tons of content. Probably 3 videos today. Stay tuned. Anyways, Skol Vikes. Playoff run starts now. Like, comment, sub if you're new. See you guys next time. Peace.